Yes. Okay, so we're gonna actually start from the top of our mats. I have blocks at the top already. I have a strap. If you don't have anything that resembles the shape of a strap and you think you may need one today, just grab like a hand towel or something, just in case. We're gonna start with our feet hips width distance, okay? Bend your knees a lot, like my hamstrings are pretty tight today. Reach your arms back and then I'll turn so you can see, but I want you to slide your hands, one hand to the front of the shin and the other hand to the other shin. So you're only crossed at your wrists, and then let your head go. And so if your hamstrings are not a pretty sight, it's gonna look like this. It's almost like you're in a chair with your stomach resting and you're creating a lot of support for yourself. There goes my earbud. And then if you can, close your eyes and just let your head, your neck, it weighs a lot, so let's just let it go. Feel your hands kind of pulling up on the front of the shins. Make sure you're not crunching your toes. Roll the weight more forward. I mean, you're not rolling, so you roll into your TV or whatever's there, but just move your weight forward. And sometimes when you start like this, notice how your mind just like, oh, why is she putting me in this position? This is, all the excuses start to come up. And so the other alternative, if it's just not comfortable for you, you don't do it. You rest your hands on something, right? But begin the action, the artful process of beginning to breathe into your body, not just breathing because we need to breathe for life, but breathing into your body to help you kind of create more space. Because that's the goal. Let yourself just drop down and drop in and let go of all the things that we really don't need, because it's amazing how they keep creeping up. Stay with it. Good. Now from here, just unravel your hands. Take your hands behind your head, kind of like you're on a pool raft. Yeah, that's kind of a nice visual. And then fold, wrapping your elbows towards your shins. And once again, the same thing goes here. You just bend your knees as deeply as you need and you fold. We're letting our hips lift so our pelvis is nice and neutral this morning. And we're just wrapping into ourselves. Oh, I'm really not doing good with these things today. Yeah, bend your knees, Jody, more, especially because it's early. Yeah. And notice if you're starting to crank your neck. The idea is that we're not pulling our neck towards our body. We're lengthening and we're starting to wrap our triceps a little closer to us, a little bit more. Slide your hands to the front of your shins. Press your hands into your shins. You're going to keep your knees a little bent, yes, or a lot bent. Exhale, fold. Grab behind your calves, let your head go. Try that again. Long spine, hands to the front of the shins. Yeah. Exhale, fold over yourself. One more time. Hands press and really feel the shoulders slide back into your lower back, into your upper shoulder blades. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up this morning. Feel the ground. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Start with your feet hips width distance, just like this. Yes, it's so much nicer for our bodies. Arms reach straight up towards the sky. Look up. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let the head go. Come to the fingertips, or once again, hands to the front of the shins or blocks. Plant your palms. 2 big steps to get you back to a plank this morning. Arrive in a plank. Figure out the distance that you need to create a nice, long, strong line of energy from the crown of your head to your heels. And your energy can be with your knees down. Totally cool. So everyone's got a different energy level and a different intention for their practice. You got to follow that path. Sometimes the intention changes as you start to move. You're like, I'm just not feeling it. Feel the hands plug down, broaden across the upper shoulder blades, and fix your eyes on something that's not moving. Connect to your breath. Contract your thighs, hug your outer hips and legs in. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. So now we go from our plank to our down dog here. Take a second to kind of work this out. Yeah. So maybe you need more space on your mat. Maybe you need a little bit of a tighter down dog today. Maybe you need a deep bend behind your knees. So systematically, yoga is about finding the alignment that we need to keep our body safe, but everybody's bodies are different. So stop feeling like your practice needs to be measurable because everyone's going to be in a different spot. It does not need to be measurable. Roll forward to a plank. Yeah. Bend your elbows in half to a chaturanga. Drop your knees if you need support. That looks good, Kristen. Yeah, perfect. Pull yourself through your first nice smooth up dog. I know you're so excited. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. So Kristen, when you do your tabletop with your knees down, slide your knees back a little and then do this. Try that today. And then hold here, drawing your navel in. Look to the top of the mat, guys. Walk your feet there. 2 big steps. Long spine on the inhale breath. Exhale, fold into yourself. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer at heart. Feet together or separated, up to you. Here we go, Sun A. Stretch the arms up, look up with your eyes. Dive over bent knees, let your weight move you forward and your head go down. Long spine on the inhale breath allows you to prepare 2 big steps back. So don't jump yet. I know some of us are excited. Bend the elbows in half to a chaturanga. Pull yourself through a smooth up dog if you're taking this today. Activate your legs, point your toes. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Anchor your hands. Breathe your hips up off your shoulders this morning. Look to the top of the mat. 2 big steps or a light float if you feel you can hop without falling down. Long spine on the inhale. Keep the weight forward. Exhale, fold again. Root to rise. Come all the way up. Drag the hands to prayer at heart, drop your arms. So we'll keep going like this just a few more times. Arms reach up, dive over bent knees, forward fold, let the head go. Long spine on the inhale, plant your palms. If you choose to hop, just remind yourself to hop into a low push-up chaturanga, not to a high push-up plank, right? Pull yourself through an up dog. Hips up and back, downward facing. If you think you're gonna hop and break a toe, then don't do it. Just step, okay? The idea is not to injure ourselves. Down dog's a clean slate always. Look where you want to go. Step or float, feet to the top. When you arrive, long spine. Slow it down a little. Exhale, fold. Root to rise. Come all the way up. Feel the ground. Drag it to prayer at heart center. Drop your arms. Again, arms up. Linking breath with movement. Dive over bent knees. Let your head go. Long spine on the inhale. Step or float. So there's no peer pressure here. Do what you think you can to make it effective. Up dog. Hips up and back, downward facing. Feel the back side of your body open. Feel your outer triceps begin to hug in. Press down. One more. Look where you want to go. Step or float, feet to the top. Long spine on the inhale. Keep that weight forward. Exhale, fold again. Root to rise. Come all the way up. Drag it to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. Arms sweep straight up. Anchor. Dive over bent knees. Forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Step your left foot back. Yeah. Left foot to the back of the mat. Walk your right foot to the right. Yeah, it's kind of come so your right foot and your left leg or hips width distance. Drop your back knee for just a second. Keep your toes curled, the back legs on an angle. Good. Sweep your arms straight up or straight out and up. Come to a supported lunge. Check in here. Make sure that your knee is tracking over your ankle. So if you see your knee coming over your toes, you need to walk your foot out a little. Good. Drop your arms by your side body like a set of airplane wings. So there's always a place for you to pause and stop and not do the next thing. So if this is where you like, you stay here. If you like to clasp your hands, interlace them. A strap is there for you too. Interlace the hands, the clasped hands start to slide a little bit down the back of the left thigh. And that may or may not be like a big difference. So you may not feel like you're going too deep. That's fine. Anchor your right heel. Breathe across your upper torso. Open up your throat a little. Look up with your eyes. Just pause here. Feel your right foot. Feel your right hip. It's gripping in. This may be where you stay. That's cool. If you want to work deeper or harder, begin to activate your back left knee and lift it from the ground. Yep. So now you're coming up to this low crescent lunge with your hands bound or not bound. Hip points are forward, gaze is forward or a little up. Pause here. Grip your outer hips in, activate your back leg as much as you can, but make sure your hip points stay forward. Let go of the clasped hands and sweep your arms out and up like you're holding a block over the top of the head. Breathe. Draw the lower belly in. Feel the feet securing you. Your legs are doing a lot of work. Another big breath in. Quiet your mind. Hands to the floor, come to your fingertips. Spring your left foot forward. When you step, step to hips width distance. Long spine on the inhale breath. Exhale, folds. Good. Long spine, don't come up. Try that again. Left foot's going to stay planted. Right foot's going to take a giant step back. So now the left foot is forward, the right leg back. Drop the back knee in an angle. Keep the toes curled. Sweep your arms out and up. Come up to your supported lunge. Check in with your alignment always. Knee over ankle. Right. If you feel too much here, you have to back out of it. Yes, everyone's different. Drop your arms, interlace your hands, opposite grip. If you can't remember, join the party. Inhale the breath, lift the chest. Exhale, begin to take the clasped hands. Arms can be bent or straight down the back of the right thigh. It's a subtle movement. Don't feel like you need to jerk your hands down the back of your leg to make a difference. There's no making a difference. It's just being here. Open up the throat and the neck and just be patient. Feel the left heel. Feel the left outer hip grip in. Stay with this. This may be what you feel comfortable with today. Begin to lift the back kneecap up off the ground. Move slow so you begin to see where your body is. Back leg strong. Hands stay clasped. It's very little movement. Hands continue to slide down the back of that right thigh. Stay with this. So kind of breathe your throat and your chest forward and up without dropping your neck. Keep the neck neutral and just look up a little with the eyes. Squeeze your inner and outer hips in. Stay with it. Keep bending deep into your front thigh. Sweep your arms out and up. Move the energy. Hands reach high. Shoulder feels a little funky. The arms can be always out a little wider. Stay with it. Hip points forward. Sit a little deeper. Hands come down to frame the front foot to the fingertips ideally. Spring the right foot forward, hips width distance. Long spine on the inhale, hands can always be on your shins. Exhale, fold again. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Keep the right foot where it is. Giant step back with your left foot. Pause. Keep your right foot where it is. Turn your back foot on a strong angle, so warrior 2 feet. Cartwheel open, warrior 2 now. Yep. Widen the stance if need be. Make sure your knee tracks over your ankle, your inner thigh rolls open, and your torso is straight up and down. That's a big one. Settle in here. 5 to 6 breaths. You can close your eyes. Back foot is a nice little turn, and the tailbone is lengthening. These look great. Ujjayi breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Ride the wave of the breath. Ride the wave of the pose as you settle in. How can you relax a little in the posture? Less effort. Breathe a little bit more across your upper torso. You got it. Blink your eyes open. Drop your arms by your side body. Keep the shape of the legs. Clasp your hands behind your back. You can do this with little bent elbows if you need. Broaden across the upper shoulders. Notice my torso hasn't moved at all. Begin to tip your body to the right 2 inches. Hands are bound. Grip your right hip underneath you. Turn up the inner part of your right thigh. Yep, so your knee is not tracking in. It's tracking directly over your ankle. Keep the hands bound if possible. Keep the left leg strong. Start to straighten your right leg 3/4 of the way. Do it slow. So now you're in this bound triangle. Hold. Now release the right hand to your shin, somewhere on your leg, and left arm up. Notice my front leg is not completely straight. It's got a little bend behind it, protect the hamstring and the knee. If you need a block, you slide it to the outside of the calf, you back out. If you need a tighter stance, you do that. Look up with your eyes. There's a little leaning back with your torso, but by all means, not a back bend. If you want a little more this morning, top arm can wrap forward. It's kind of a nice offering, only if your shoulder feels healthy enough to turn the bicep down without your right shoulder crunching up. 3 more breaths. Spread your toes wide and see if that activates your inner and outer thighs. Good. Look to the floor. If the arm is reaching forward, that's fine. Circle the hands down. Spring your left heel up your back in the low lunge. Spring it forward to the top of the mat. Long spine on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Long spine to prepare. Left foot stays where it is. Right foot takes a generous step back. Keep the left foot where it is. Turn the back foot strong. Circle open, warrior 2. Warrior 2. Take a second to arrange your feet. These look good. Yeah. Big arms. It's a pretty wide stance. Yeah. And the back foot's got a nice strong angle. And your arms are activated. And then just close your eyes. A few more breaths. Let your body just kind of be here. You got nothing else to do. It's raining here. Breathe. Notice how when you hold the pose, you start to struggle, either physical or mental, or sometimes both. Let go of that. Let your body do the work. Let it hold itself up. 2 more. Keep the strong shape in your legs. You're doing great. Drop your arms, clasp your hands. Opposite grip if you can remember. Broaden across the upper shoulders. Just stay straight up and down for a second and get this nice openness through the chest. Keep digging down. Roll your inner thigh open. Now keep that and start to tip to the left just a little bit. Yeah. Just a little. And notice when you start to go too deep, how the changes of the shape of the pose are affected. The idea is that we want to hover and hold. Turn your bottom ribs and look to the right. Look up. Now keep the torso like this in a strong right leg. Start to slowly straighten out your left leg. Now have control so it doesn't go pin straight. There's going to be a micro bend. Keep turning the bottom ribs. Keep the side body long. Anchor through your feet. Begin to spread your arms into a triangle pose. Right arm up, left palm somewhere on your leg or reach for a block. If the stance feels too long, shorten it. No one said you can't back out of the pose or come out of the pose and re-enter the pose. Lean back a little. Top arm can just reach straight up like side plank, or the arm can wrap forward. It's up to you. But try not to lose the shape. The strength of your back leg is really powerful. Yeah. Side body long, stay with it. If the arm is wrapping forward, that's fine. Keep reaching it forward. Everybody look down. Circle the hands to frame the back foot. The back heel lifts up off the ground. Step to a plank. Step to plank. Yep. When you get to plank, lower halfway chaturanga, or just skip this if you're not into it. Pull yourself through a clean up dog. Point your toes. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Land your right foot forward. Turn your back foot strong. Come up warrior 1. Yeah. Warrior 1. Your feet are about hips width distance. Your back toes are turned pretty much forward. So your thigh can turn forward. Arms drop down, clasp your hands, inhale your breath. Come into a humble warrior here. So 2 ways we take with humble in the way I teach. Either your stomach is resting or hovering on your front thigh. Yep. Or you can snuggle your right shoulder in and let your head go, but your hips have to continue to move forward towards the front edge of the mat, so they're not opening. Keep gripping your right hip underneath you and plugging your back leg strong. So all the muscles around the back left kneecap are super engaged, and you're not just dumping the weight down. So I'd rather you do less and feel more than just go to a sloppy place. Stay with it. The clasp hands, start to drop them further down the back of the head as you breathe. Press strong through your feet and your legs. Start to pull yourself up. As you come up, unravel your arms, traditional warrior one. Even the hands can come to a prayer, reaching straight up. Gather them together. Hands come to the floor. Step through a vinyasa or move from a down dog today. Up dog pulls you through. Hips up and back, downward facing. Slide your left foot forward. Turn your back foot strong. Come on up, warrior one. Set up your feet so it works for you. For me, it's a pretty long step. Arms drop down, clasp the hands one more time, interlace them the other way, open up the heart and the chest, keep turning your right ribs forward, and then find your humble. So humble can totally just be resting or hovering over the front of the left thigh, steering your left hip underneath you, and your right thigh and waist forward, or getting into the nitty-gritty and dropping down deeper. Let the head go, but keep turning the right ribs forward as you grip the left hip underneath you. Plug the left foot strong into the mat. Let the head go and see if you can drop your hands further towards the crown of your head. Notice if you're clenching your toes, spread your feet, breathe. Anchor through your feet and legs, press strong. Start to pull yourself back up. Unravel the arms, warrior one. Maybe even the hands come to a prayer, reaching straight up. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Step back, plank, move through a vinyasa or whatever you wish for. Upward facing. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Full clean exhale, breath out. Look to the top of the mat. Step or float, feet to the top. Long spine on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Sit into chair. Weight moves into your heels. Some of you thought we were just going to skip over this. Yeah. Sit into chair. Wishful thinking. Always a little curve in your lower back. That's just how we're made. Arms can be open wide if the shoulders don't feel great. Hands can be a little closer together if you're working there. Press up to a standing position. Bring the hands to prayer. Drop your arms. So we'll do 3 together. Here we go. Arms reach up. Sit deep into chair. Your butt goes back. The weight's in your heels. Dive over bent knees. Forward fold. Let your head go. Long spine on the inhale. Step or float through your vinyasa. Everyone's looks different. Up dog pulls you open. Hips up and back, down dog. From your down dog, your right foot glides forward, your back foot turns, warrior one. Bring it back down to the floor. If you're just choosing to go to a down dog, that's fine. You'll hold there for a breath. And then when we arrive, our left foot comes forward, the back foot turns strong, warrior one, come on up. Hands to the floor, vinyasa or not. And then you take a breath or two because it's yoga and we're not in a rush because we're caring for our bodies here. That's been my greatest lesson. As a runner, it's always like the goal is in running, in the running world, is to get faster. In yoga, that's not the goal. It's not to get faster. Look where you want to go, step or float, feet to the top. It's to get more deliberate, long spine and more aware. Exhale, fold, sit into chair. Weights in your heels. Press up to stand, drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms, keep it going. Arms reach up, sit into chair. Dive over your bent legs, forward fold, let your head go. Long spine to prepare you, step or float through the vinyasa. Upward facing, pulls you chest through. Hips up and back, downward facing. From your down dog, the right foot glides, the back foot turns. Warrior one. So it's controlled movement, guys. Some of you are faster, some of you are slower. Hands come down. Chaturanga. Upward facing. If you're taking them, legs are strong. Downward facing. Left foot lands, building momentum. Warrior one. Vinyasa. Plank position. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Point your toes. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Look where you want to go. Step or float, feet to the top. We'll keep it moving. Long spine, keep that weight forward. Exhale, fold. Sit into chair. Weight moves into your heels, linking breath with movement. Press to stand. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Arms reach up. Stay focused. Sit chair. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Step or float through your vinyasa. Upward facing dog pulls you through. Smile, you're on camera. Downward facing dog, hips pressed back. Right foot forward, back foot turns, warrior one. Hands come down. Skip the vinyasa if the push-ups are too much. From your downward facing dog, left foot forward, back foot turns. Feel the blade of your back foot. That helps me a lot. Yeah, press. Hands come down, plank position. Bend your elbows in half to your chaturanga. Upward facing dog, pull your chest through. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a loud sigh breath out. Look where you want to go. Step or float, feet to the top. Long spine on the inhale breath. Exhale, fold. Sit into that juicy chair pose. Chair pose. Hands come to prayer at heart. Pause. Inhale that breath. Hook your elbow. Take it to the right. Yeah, look to the right. You want to make sure that your feet, your knees, and your shins all stay lined up together. So that's the goal here. Yeah, keep moving your energy back into your heels. Your spine stays long. If you want to open up your arms this morning, that's fine and great. I'm just going to stay here and breathe and pray for it to be over. Because I'm just like all you. Look up towards the sky. Keep moving the weight into your heels. Try not to restrict the feeling. Just go with it. Keep the weight in your heels. Pull around to chair. Smile. There you go. Press up to stand. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Pause for a second. Not so bad. Stretch the arms straight up. Sit again into chair. Drag the hands to prayer. Inhale the breath. Hook the elbow. Take it the other direction. Listen, if you notice the whole right side of your body is kind of moving, do less. Be up a little higher. Even if you don't hook your elbow, that's fine. Keep the shape of your body consistent. Yeah. Weight stays in your heels. If you feel like you want to open your arms, then go for it. If not, just press the palms and look up. The weight stays back. More breath, more feeling right here. Keep the weight in your heels wherever you are. Pull around to chair. Dig down. Press up to stand. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. So from the top of this mat today, have your blocks, all your stuff here. Separate your feet hips width distance and just pause like this. The right leg's going to be the dominant standing leg. Bend your top leg into a tree. Okay? So bend your top leg into a tree and settle in there. Even with the door closed, I've been found. Yes. Hands can come to prayer. Grip your outer hips underneath you. Keep your hip points forward. Yeah. And then if you want to grow the branches of the tree this morning, you can reach your arms up. You can reach your arms straight out wherever you have room. And then maybe you challenge yourself, not by dropping your neck back, but by looking up a little. Draw the lower belly in. There's a coiling of your ribs and a strong grounding of your right thigh and foot. If you fall, just try again. Hands come to a prayer, pause here. So you're going to start to just look out in front of you like 6, 8, maybe even 10 inches. We're gonna move from here to half moon. So keep your right foot really grounded. Start to hinge at your waist. Reach down for your right foot block and then open up. And if it doesn't work out, great, that's okay. The point of getting into poses differently is it for not to work out, right? Challenge yourself in a different way. The right foot wants to turn in, at least mine does. So see if you can straighten it out. And I'm near a wall, so I could even lean back against the wall if I needed a little extra TLC. And that's okay. Grip your right hip underneath you and then find your balance here. It may take a few extra breaths to kind of capture it. The lift of the left inner thigh, the toes of the left foot are lining up with the crown of the head, and the left arm reaches big towards the ceiling, if you can. If you're dying to add a Chopasana, that's a bend of your top leg, you can reach back and get hold of your ankle. If you're content with being here, just stay here, a few more breaths. Keep gripping your right hip underneath you. Maybe get lighter in your bottom hand. Maybe just refocus your breath. If you bound, release and meet us in traditional half moon. The transition will be slow. Look down with your eyes. Keep your right foot forward. Take a generous step back into a warrior two. You can move your block with you if you think you're gonna need it. Come back, warrior two. Nice big step. You were here before. Anchor through your feet. Lengthen your tailbone. Open up your chest. Sit a little deeper into your front thigh and then look forward. Reach out and rest your right arm on the inside of your foot, or your hand can come down to a block for B variation. Now, the alternative here is to just rest your arm on the top of the thigh and do it such as this. This is a great alternative. Hand to the block, lean back into the inner right thigh a little bit, get in there. Left arm can reach straight up, it can come to your hip, or begin to wrap into a half or full bind. Now, here's the trick with a full bind, okay? If you come to a full bind and your whole chest comes down and you're struggling for air, back out. Half bind, no bind is a better choice. A full bind, you clasp your hands, you open up your throat and your chest, you create a little twist and you look up. You should then be able to hold the pose. Continue to grip your right hip underneath you. Stay with it. Feel your feet. Nice, Susan. All of our Susans, from what I can see, look very nice. Lean back a little bit more and twist open. Right hand down, left arm open, anchor and arrive back, warrior two, I know. Warrior two. Look forward with your eyes. Circle your hands to frame your front foot. Peel your left heel. We're setting up for a side plank with your left hand being down. So the left hand comes a little in front of you. Roll to Vashisthasana side plank. Couple different options with side plank this morning. Of course, drop your bottom knee if that works best for you. Top leg can lift. Traditional side plank with a tree, or bend your right leg, reach with your right hand, get hold of your ankle. Flex the foot and kick behind you. So it's a bound side plank, kind of a Chopasana side plank. Broaden across the upper collarbone, look up. Lift from your bottom hip wherever you are. Let go of any fanciness. Look down with your eyes, plank position. Through a chaturanga if you care to, or just go to a downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Look where you want to go. Step or float, feet to the top. Long spine on the inhale, keep the weight forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise. That's all we need to do here. Come on up. Stand up nice and tall. Drop your arms. Separate your feet hips width distance. It helps. Ground your left leg. Bend your right leg up into a tree. Yep. Perfect. Grip your hips in and then fix your eyes. I love this pose just kind of anywhere in the practice because it just grounds us. It's simple but challenging. Grow the branches if you care to. Keep your hip points forward. Couple more. So a lot of focus is going to go on that front left leg and the hip, keeping it forward and contracted. Drag the hands to prayer first. Look forward, just like kind of start to look for your block, and then begin to open nice and slow into your half moon. So do it with control. If it doesn't work out, you restart. Keep the left foot moving forward. If you notice it's turning in, then reset. Stack the two hips. Extend the right arm up. If the hand needs to be the hip or resting on side body, these are other options that can help kind of ground us and support the pose. Add in half bind here, Chopasana. You bend at your knee and you grab your ankle. The kick's going to go behind you, not up towards the sky if you're choosing this. Your bottom ribs continue to turn. Your left hip hugs in. Flex your top right foot wherever you are. If you travel to Chopasana, come back to Ardha. The transition is its own pose. So look down. If you know you're going to need the block, just kind of pick it up as you step back into Warrior Two. And take a second to arrange your feet if you're all over the place. I'm all over the place. That's okay. Turn up the inner part of your thigh. It's better to be all over the place here than somewhere else. Yeah. Open up the throat and the chest. Yes. Be patient as you come to this. Lengthen your tailbone. Keep the shape of the lower half of the body. Look forward. Start to reach out with your front arm and rest your hand on the instep of your foot this morning, or your arm simply just on the top of the thigh if that's what you're going for. B variation, extended side angle. Be very careful if you know you go into internal rotation with your front shoulder. Yes, I come to fingertips a lot. Reach up big with your right arm, look up, lean back a little. Slide your hand to your hip or start to wrap your hand around and reach for the half bind or the full bind if that's what you're going for. The full bind, have to really begin to twist your upper torso a little and look up. Press strong through your back leg. Grip your left hip in strong. Debs, it looks great. More breath. Any arm variations you took on, release them slow. Right arm up, anchor through your feet and your legs without too much bounce, Warrior Two. Warrior Two. Look forward with your eyes, circle the hands to frame your front foot. Moving yourself into a side plank. Now your right hand's gonna be down. Just to remind you, your right hand's like an inch in front of your shoulder. You can just step into a regular side plank today. You can drop your bottom knee, take modified side plank. You can add Chopasana or tree with your top leg. Anything goes. I'm going to show a supported one. Bottom knee down. I'm going to bend my foot and grab behind me. This is a great alternative. The same alignment goes for any of these options. Bottom hip lifts. See if you can look up. Yeah. Release any grabbing of the feet or trees that maybe you took. Look down, plank position. Bend your elbows in half, chaturanga. Pull yourself through a nice up dog, point your toes. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Look where you want to go. Step or float, feet to the top. Long spine on the inhale breath. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer at heart. Separate your feet again, top of mat, hips width distance. Right leg is a standing leg. This time you're gonna kind of kick your left heel in towards your butt. Guys, if you can't grab your ankle, one, you could just stay like this, just create the shape. But what I want is your knees to be lined up, okay? Now, it's kind of like a golf grip. You're gonna try and get your left hand around your left ankle and your right hand around. So it looks like this. Get over how deep you need to go into the pose. Sometimes just standing up like this is the back bend. Once you get it, there's a gathering of your upper shoulder blades. Yes, but your tailbone is long and your right leg is the standing leg. Start to give a little energy into your hand, into your foot, and start to kick up and back. The hip point stays squared towards the mat. So the movement may be very slow and subtle. You're kind of tipping forward into a warrior three. So start to take your torso down as you kick your foot back and up, but don't open your hip. A soft bend behind your right knee is there to help. 2 more. Steer your hips down towards the floor. Keep looking forward. So very slow transition into a warrior three. Your arms are going to reach back and your legs going to reach back. Warrior three, kind of open your torso towards the ground. So you're not opening it towards the ceiling. You're tipping it down. Look to the floor, hands come down to the ground. Hands come to your prayer, sorry. Reach for blocks. You're gonna take a block underneath your left shoulder and your right hand towards the right flat part of your back. So we're moving into a twisting Ardha Chandrasana. If not, hands can come down and you can just hold here in a supported warrior three. So twisting Ardha Chandrasana, your left leg stays lifted, your right hip grips in, and the flat part of your back is there so you can check in. So take your right hand and rest it there, and then look right and begin to twist. So I'm showing an alternative here. The lifting of my inner thigh, breathing that inner thigh up, and then twisting open. 3 more breaths. One more deep inhale, twist a little further. Look down, both hands now come to the floor, giant step back. Walk the right foot to the right. Yeah, drop the back knee if you need to, sweep the arms up. Yeah, why not? Hands come to prayer. You can keep that leg engaged, Susan. Inhale the breath, hook the elbow, take it to the right. Sometimes it's good to put the knee down, check in here, and then re-engage the leg, kind of like we did before. There's a leaning back. The crown of the head lines up with the back left heel. And then to begin to open up your arms if you want a little bit more. Yep. Nice, Jody. Activate your back leg a little bit more. So think of your collarbone, Susan, like really like opening up your chest. Yeah. Looks good, Kathy. Yeah, just keep the knee down. Why not? 3 more. It's a good thing you're on mute. You're probably all cursing. Yes. Look down, take both hands to frame your front foot. Pause. Spring your left foot forward, hips width distance. Long spine on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Before we go, grab the big toes. Long spine on the inhale, bend behind your knees. Exhale, open your elbows and fold over yourself. Draw your belly towards the front of the thighs and let your head drop down. Your elbows open. If you can't grab your big toes, you're just grabbing somewhere on your legs and pulling down. Keep moving your weight forward. Let your head go. Hands on your hips. Pull yourself up to stand. Stand for a second. One more time today. You're doing great. Stand on your left leg. Bend your right knee in. This could be where you go. This could just be an active movement. If you can get hold of your ankle, that's great. Grab both ankle, the whole ankle with both hands or with one if you can't get both hands around. Stand up nice and tall, soften behind your left knee. This is the pose right here. Give your hand and your foot some energy. So flex it if possible. And then start to tip forward. Now when you tip forward, the torso is facing down. Yeah, keep flexing. So you're gonna activate your thigh and your psoas. And we're not going for distance. We're definitely just going for alignment. Breathe. Try not to open your hips. I'd rather you go less in, but be correct. Soften behind the left knee, a few more. Give it a little bit more energy as you kick up and kick back. Keep the lift of the torso, keep the lift of the leg. Just start to unravel yourself into warrior three. So you straighten your arm and you straighten your leg. Not much changes here. Maybe you have to reach for the ground or blocks if your balance gets a little off. That's okay. Keep everything really squared. Hands come to prayer. Bring your gaze, your drishti down. Hands, both of them can come to blocks if you need. If not, twisting Ardha, block underneath your right hand, left arm extends up. Hand can just come here to the flat part of your back. This is a great alternative. You can also just stay with this. I'm showing a warrior 3 with the hands resting on the blocks. If you're in a bathroom, they could be resting on a countertop. Keep lifting the inner thigh. The spine stays long and the back foot is active and engaged. If you're going for the full deal, twist open. Keep lifting that inner thigh. You can even try pointing your toe. See what happens. Now I'm hugging my left hip in like crazy and it's burning. So continue to do that. Stay with it, Susan. Keep lifting. 2 more. Look down, take both hands down to the floor of the blocks, giant step back into your lunge. Hands come to the ground, arrange your feet, maybe drop the back knee, sweep your arms up. Hands come to a prayer. Inhale the breath, hook the elbow, take it to the left. Maybe the back knee wants to come up. Maybe you're just opting to keep it down. Good. Leaning back a little bit here. Back leg, if it's lifted, it's really engaged. Open up your arms, half bind, full bind, no bind. Think about a bind, dream about a bind. Notice if you start to look back, you're gonna round. So look either up or sideways. Two more. Look down, take both hands to frame your front foot, step to a plank. Bend your elbows in half, chaturanga. Pull yourself through a nice up dog, point your toes. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Good, from this downward facing dog, drop your forearms down. Your hands have to come a little closer. It's good to sometimes take a block the fat way. Have your hands in between the block and have your elbows down for dolphin pose. Dolphin pose. Okay, I'm gonna give you an option. If you're like, okay, this is crazy, I don't wanna do dolphin, I don't wanna go upside down into an inversion today, you can separate your feet such as I'm showing and just fold down the center and make this a little bit more restorative. So now if you wanna work on dolphin, that's perfect, Kristen. If you wanna work on dolphin, you can just breathe one leg up. Make sure your head's not down. Yeah, Jody, try walking your feet in before you do that, just a tiny bit closer to you. Yep. Like really tighten it and then see if you can lift an independent leg. Just breathe the one leg up. Yeah. Keep pressing down. Yes. There's a hugging of your outer triceps. That's awesome. And when you need to rest, you rest. Just because I'm telling you to do something doesn't mean you need to do it the whole time. And then you'll try the other leg. If you need to rest, you rest. Yeah, and then you try one more time because you can. Last 5 breaths wherever you are. And if that's just in child's pose, that's okay too. Guys, wherever you are, we're gonna meet in a downward facing dog. Here we go. Stay with me just a few more minutes. Roll forward one more time, plank position. Bend your elbows in half, chaturanga. Pull yourself through a nice smooth up dog. This probably will feel good. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Drop your knees to the center of the mat, curl the toes in and bring your hands to your hips. Yep. Good. So there's going to be a couple different versions of this right now. Stand up nice and tall. Step your right foot forward. It's going to look like this. So before, when we stepped our foot forward, we had more of an angle. If this does not feel good for your knee, slide a block underneath and let your knee hang off. If you have a towel, you can also pad it. Hands on your hips. Arms reach down, interlace them, slide them down the back of the thigh. Grip your right foot strong into the mat. Yes, it's kind of like a half setup for camel. Yes, slide the hand down. If you're super, super bendy, you'll kick your foot in and you'll see if you can get hold of your ankle, just like we've been doing, and flex the foot, the broadening of the shoulders. If you're nowhere near this, just keep your hands clasped and just open up the throat and the chest. Dig your right heel into the mat, hug your right hip in. Look up with your eyes. Let go of your foot if you took it. Good. As you pull your torso up, bring your hands to your hips. Pause. Step your right knee back. You're standing on two knees. Standing on two knees. I like to curl the toes. Step the left foot forward. Create a block, like a box shape. Nice and upright. Interlace your hands. Inhale your breath. Start to slide your hands down the back of the thigh. It could be 2 inches. Make sure you're not just jutting your whole body forward. Look up with your eyes. If you want to kick your heel in and see if you can get your heel towards your butt and maybe grab around your ankle, that's always an option. Flex the foot. If it doesn't feel good for your knee, you back out. Breathe. Grip your left hip underneath you. Lift through your upper torso and chest. Look up. If you grabbed your ankle, let go of your foot. Pull yourself up, hands to your hips. Step your left knee back and just sit down on your heels. Sit up nice and tall. 2 more back bends. Camel pose. We're going to do one together, and then if you want to do a second set of camel, that's fine. If not, we'll go on to our backs. So stand up, curl the toes into the mat, or have the feet flat. You pick. Inhale your breath. The hands can slide down the back, or you can press your fingers up and hug your shoulders together. Use a little pressure with your hands. I kind of press them forward and down. Give yourself a little back bend. Inhale the breath, lift through the chest. This is as far as I'm going to go probably. And then if you want to go back further, your hands can reach towards your heels. Keep sliding the thighs forward, opening up the upper thoracic rather than dumping down. To get out of the pose, one hand to your lower back, then the other, pull your torso up, and then sit down. And then just sit for a second and breathe. Repeating that one more time, or I'm going down, I'm laying down on my back. I'm gonna lay down, I'm actually gonna go for more of a restorative pose, but for all means, you can go for a full wheel at this point. Restorative version of this, totally where I'm going. Feet bend, lift the tailbone, block is going underneath, any level. Full wheel, you'll flip your palms. I'm gonna come check you out after I show you how to do this. Gather the shoulder blades together. Anchor the feet, thighs are engaged. Full wheel. Ah, looks good. Nice. Iron out those feet. Make sure they're forward. Go for it, Jody. Yeah, if you're on a block, you can lift one leg, you can lift the other leg. If you're still in full wheel, breathe. Stay with me. 2 more. Awesome. The space that you're creating is from your tailbone to the backs of your thighs and knees. If you went to full wheel, you're rock stars right here because most of you are still up. Tuck the chin, start to exit out. If your legs are straight up, this is what I need you to do. Take them in half, create a 90-degree angle, and then lower one foot and then the other. If you went up into a full wheel, you can just hug your knees to your chest. Yeah. Remove the block if you're on a block, out of the way. And then everybody gets to find happy baby. Because we like happy babies. We don't like cranky babies. Although this pose often feels kind of cranky. So pull your knees down around your rib cage. Melt your lower back to the floor. Good. Hug your knees in. And you're just going to take your left foot flat today. Cross your right ankle over. You're creating this shape. Slide your hands through the space. You can grab the front of your left shin. You can grab behind your thigh. Either way works. Ankle to knee on your back. Now the feeling is that you're pulling your left leg towards you, but at the same time, a strong flex of your right foot, so your right thigh moves away from you. If you feel that you need more, you can cradle your right leg. Yeah, you can cradle it in the space where your arms and your biceps meet. You can extend your left leg up, or you can hover it down, but keep your upper torso on the floor. 5 more breaths, wherever you've chosen to be, breathe. If you went more fancy, recross to come back and meet us. Let go of the left leg, and then lift your hips up, and then drop your legs to the towards the left, just like this, just a supine twist. Open up your right arm, and then use your left hand to encourage your right thigh closer to you, and take a little twist this way. So you should feel this through your piriformis. Come up through center, unravel, take the feet down. Last thing today. Rebend the left leg, cross it over, lift and thread the needle. Lay down on your backs. This would be another place if you needed a strap because you can't grab your leg, you could do that. Externally rotate your left leg, which means move your left leg away from you as you flex the foot. If you're looking for more, cradle your left leg. The leg can stay bent, the right leg, or it can extend straight up, or it can hover on an angle, or just stay where I am, an ankle to knee. If you're starting to like leave the space or your mat or your practice, just come back just a little bit more time. 2 more minutes. If you went more fancy and you grabbed your calf, just meet us back ankle to knee. Everyone let go of whatever you're holding on to. Lift the hips up a little to the left, and then you'll drop over with your legs to the right. So you your right leg is kind of on an angle, and then your right hand will grab the outside of your left thigh, and you just bring it a little closer to you. Your left arm will open. So you're kind of in this funky spine twist. Hopefully you can tell what I'm doing. Roll up to center. One last deep squeeze of your knees in, like hugging tight. And then the most important posture, Shavasana. Set up here for the next minute, 90 seconds. Make yourself comfortable. Complete rest. You've done all the work now. You must reap the benefits. Let go of your Ujjayi breathing and just melt. Make yourself comfortable. So start to come back slow. So don't just bounce up right now. Draw awareness towards your fingers and your toes and start to wiggle them. Yeah. Then reach your arms up over the top of the head. And then stretch through your toes, like point your toes. Yeah, perfect. Hug your knees in, wrap your arms around your thighs like a little ball. If you like to roll to a side, that's great. If you want to just rock up, that's fine. But move with awareness. And then when you're ready, you sit up. If you just want to stay down, that's cool too. So as you sit up in this newfound body, it's the same body, but you just worked it. Hands come to a prayer. Most importantly, our gratitude to ourselves, our dedication to our practice. Bow your head, close your eyes. Lift your head, open your eyes. Gratitude is the best attitude. Namaste. Go out there, have an awesome day. I'll see you soon.